Today, I want to do something like meat and potatoes. So how are we going to do the meat? Well, we're going to do these Portobello mushroom steaks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to marinate them just like you would a steak. I'm going to serve them with a delicious mashed potatoes. What we're going to do, nice golden potatoes, and we're going to top it with gravy. Everybody's favorite, and my favorite too. Let's begin. First, take a look. I pulled the stems out of the mushroom. This is important because what we're going to do is we're going to fry it, and you need to be able to mash it down. But you don't want to pull out too many of these fins where all the spores come from. This is going to hold our marinade, okay? So first, I'm going to take our mushrooms and I'm going to put it in this dish, and then we'll make a little marinade. So with the marinade, I'm going to use just a teeny bit of vinegar. A little goes a long way, because really you want just a little acid, something that's going to burn in and dissolve a little bit into the mushroom to hold the flavor. Now I'm going to do a clementine, some juice from a clementine. Yeah, we can throw in the whole chunk of clementine too. Red chili flakes, just to give it a little spice, or a lot of spice if you like it. If you like it that way. Then, and now this is the most important part, the Worcestershire sauce. This is a vegan Worcestershire sauce. There's many ways of saying that. Worcestershire. Anyway, however you call it, take the Worcestershire sauce and mix it up just like this. And we're going to just I'm going to pour it into the bottom first, because you're going to see that the fins of the Portobello are just going to soak up all of that good flavor. Put this one in and do the same. See that? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, now I'm going to put a lid, get some kind of a container, something you can shake them up in, something with a lid. Give it a good shake. Look at it go. Look at it go. Shaking it all around. Flip it, shake it, flip it, shake it. Let's look. Coated. Perfection. Look at that. It's going to be so good. Okay, we're going to put it aside. And then we're going to start our mashed potatoes. So to do the mashed potatoes, we're going to fill a pot with some water. Enough water to submerge our potatoes. Now, I'm just going to make a couple potatoes because I can't eat that many mashed potatoes right now. But this is how I'm going to do it. Chop them into little small chunks. The smaller you chop them, the quicker they'll cook. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut them into thirds. No, I'm cutting them into half. I'll cut them in half first. And then I'll cut them into 3 ways this way, and then I'll cube them this way. How's that? That way we have our average size chunk is small enough that we can get these mashed potatoes ready to go in 20 minutes. That's our goal, 20 minutes. So, I'll just chop up these. See, I like to lay them flat. It's a lot easier to chop the potatoes if you have a flat edge to lean them on. So that's what I'm going for here. Create one flat edge and then slice them up. See, they add up fast. You get a lot of mashed potatoes very quickly. Like slicing it. Slicing these mashed potatoes. Here we go. Chop, chop, chop. And the last one. There we go. Chop, 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 chop. All right. Now, I'm going to check on my water. Let's see how we're doing over here. I think I'm going to need to add some salt to try to speed this up. We're going to pour off the water, but some of the salt is going to remain with the potatoes to flavor them. So we want to keep that in mind when we add salt. that going. All right, I'm gonna throw these in. It's not quite boiling yet, but because I want to get started on the gravy, I'm gonna go ahead and dump the potatoes now. And we'll just keep an eye on that. There we go. Okay, now the gravy. So I'm going to start with a pretty hot little pan. Get my pan pretty hot, and I'm going to slice an onion. The thing with the gravy is everything that we're going to put in the pot, we're going to strain out. So you don't have to be too careful with the way you prepare it. I'm just gonna throw it in, skin and all. Because what we're trying to do here is make like a vegetable tea, a very flavorful vegetable tea, which becomes the base of the gravy. You see that? Skins and all, it's fine. Doesn't matter. We're going to strain it all out. Same with the garlic. Now, usually we do garlic in such a painstaking way. Watch this. Chop. Chop. Done. Throw it in. That's all we need for that. I'm going to throw in a little bit of orange, just to give it some acid. And now, grapeseed oil. Now I'm going to add the grapeseed oil gradually because I want it to warm up gradually. I want to keep everything warming. And I'm going to give it a little of this. This is soy sauce. Now watch what happens to the color when we do this. See, that's how we start getting that gravy color, that nice dark brown gravy color. Pretty easy so far. We're gonna just let these vegetables do the work for us. Now, see how it's starting to boil? That means we can start adding a little more oil. Until we have about half a cup to 2/3 of a cup of oil in there. Okay. Now, this beautiful vegetable stock. You know how I love my vegetable stock. It's sort of my favorite thing. When you get vegetables that start getting old and they start getting a little weak, don't throw them away. Make stock out of them. Carrots, celery, onions, garlic, fennel, leeks, and then I add a whole bunch of spices to it. Fresh herbs. We're going to thicken this gravy. I'm going to use flour. If you don't want to use flour, if you want to go gluten-free, you can do that. You can use potato starch instead. So I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons of flour. And then I'm going to get go with like 4 heaping tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Something like that. Nutritional yeast is going to add a bunch of good flavor, a nice kind of cheesy flavor. Now, I'm going to get all of the sediment back up into my stock and then pour it in. Now this is when you decide how much gravy you're going to make. So make sure you don't put in more stock than will fit in your saucepan. In this case, I think that'll just about do it. And we'll go in and dump it. How does it look? Here's our chance. What else does it need? Oh, wow. That soy sauce hitting all those, hitting all my alliaceous vegetables. that's so yummy. All right, here comes the stock. All right. That'll be a nice, dense gravy. Nice and dense. The less liquid, the more body, the more flavor. So decide if you want it. If you want to make a lot of gravy, then you're going to add more vegetable stock. If you want a little condensed, like super saturated gravy, then make it a little leaner like this. Okay. I'm going to let that heat up a little bit. Put the lid on it. Now, this is the fun part. This is where we flavor the gravy. So, I have a whole bunch of ingredients that we're going to add. The first is some fresh herbs. This is a little rosemary. Let's take a few sprigs of that. Thyme. A few sprigs of that. These are all fresh from the farmer's market. If you can use fresh herbs, do it. If you want to use dry herbs, you can too. Anything you put in this potion is up to you, and it's going to be amazing. And you can put in whatever kind of sticks and twigs you want, because we're gonna filter it all out. Okay, now this is the secret ingredient, secret weapon here: dried porcini mushrooms. These have a heavy, dank smell, almost like jerky. These are an incredible flavor bomb right here. Look at that. Look at these dried up porcini mushrooms. They are so, they have this kind of a cadaverous flavor. Like it's like when you're a wild dog who's found a dead animal to go chew on. This is like the kind of thing that dried porcini mushrooms bring to your gravy. And they're going to give this meaty flavor, right? Because when you have that craving for something salty and fatty, you can still be vegan. And I'm showing you how. Okay? All right, let's see if we've got it. Ooh. Heating up interestingly. Interesting. Okay. So right now, the onion juice and the garlic juice is giving it sort of a yellow color. I want to tamp that down a little bit. I want it to be a little more red. So I'm going to take paprika, and I'm going to just dump some paprika in there, just for the spiciness, but also for the color. So watch what it does to the color. See how it takes some of that, takes away some of that green, takes away some of that yellow. Okay. Oh, I hear our potatoes are boiling away over here. Nice. Everything's coming together so well. Oh, God, knock on wood. Okay. So, gravy's starting to boil. Perfect. What does that mean? That means it's time we can start adding in our herbs. So, here we go. First the rosemary. Right. Then the thyme. Beautiful thyme. Thyme just smells so clean and decent, you know? And now, dried porcini mushrooms. We're going to check back in with these. See how dry and crispy they are now? When we come back, they're going to have soaked up all the water, and they'll be back to their original size. It'll be pretty fun to watch. You know I like it spicy, so here we go. Here's a couple chile arbol. I'm going to just break them open. I'm going to throw in the stems. I'm going to throw in the seeds and everything. I never throw in the seeds. But we're going to strain it all out, so you can throw in whatever you want. Turn this down just a little bit. Turn this down just a little bit. I got some bay leaf. This is a Mexican bay leaf. It's got kind of a nice dry woody flavor. It's less eucalyptus than like a Mediterranean bay leaf would be. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in a whole half a clementine and this old tomato. Old tomatoes are the best. See when the skin starts to wrinkle a little bit, just like somebody who's been at the beach a little too long. Just chop it up a little bit, and this is the fun part. Just squeeze out. Squeeze that tomato open. Squeeze it right open. Drop it in. What else could we put in there? Oh, peppercorns. Let's get really crazy. I'm gonna throw in a whole handful of these beautiful little peppercorns. Gonna add them to our spice. Add the whole thing. Throw in everything. I think that's it. I think we've spiced this up. All right, we're gonna just let this quietly simmer in here. I'm not even gonna stir it up. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. We'll check on the potatoes. Now, we know when the potatoes are done when they are easy to squish with tongs. So these aren't quite done, which is fine because we still have to work on our main course, our steak, our mushroom steak. Let's take a look at it. Let's see how it's done. This is live. We haven't cut. This is live. Look at that. Marinated mushroom, portobello mushroom. Oh God, it's so good. You know what I'm going to do just to be a little crazy? I'm going to add a little bit of sweetness to it. Just a touch of agave. Just a touch. Okay. Let's do our mushroom over here in this bad boy. Let's cook it in butter, shall we? Should we use a little, this is some vegan butter. A little bit of earth balance. Dropping that in there. Little butter, little oil. Okay. Now, as soon as this melts, coats a little bit, we're going to start this off. Now, what I think is best is to start it off with the spore side up. Spore side up to start off. That way you're going to hold in all those. Look at that. Look at that piece of clementine. So good, right? That'll be a little surprise. Really a special treat for that one. All right, sizzling, sizzling. Here we go. Look at that. Whew. What I'd like to do with these is I want to cook them on kind of medium-low heat. I don't want them to burn on the bottom because our goal really is to shrink them down. You'll know that we're doing it right when these things reduce by about a third, when they get that small. So I'm gonna cut our heat down just a little bit. There we go. Looks good, doesn't it? Yummy. Okay. Oh, look at these. How fabulous is that? It's just bubbling away. It's gonna be so good. Let's check on the mashed potatoes. Now let's do our test. Ooh, just about ready. Just about ready. Let's give it just another minute. Nice. All right, let's keep an eye on this. Oh, look. Look how it's shrinking down already. See how it's changing? I'm going to turn this down. The sizzle is a little too violent. I don't like it when it hisses and screams. Just checking the bottoms. They're not burned at all. Love it. Perfect. Nice. Let's check on the gravy. gravy is ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you learn nothing today, learn how to make gravy. You can put it on anything, and it'll make anything you cook taste brilliant. It'll just be like this mouth-watering orgy for whatever you cook it on, the most mundane thing. Keep that going. All right. Let's check on these. One final test. Yeah. Those are ready. Right? Let's see. Yep. We got it. Okay. So, now here's the tricky part. Got to drain out the water. Take my pot, I'm going to cut the heat. Cut the heat and drain out the water. Just keep draining the water out. Just a little more. Just get the water out. Okay. Good. All right, take a look at that. What do you think? Nice, right? Okay, while they're piping hot, dump the butter. This is our vegan butter. This is about half a stick of vegan butter we've thrown in there. I'm gonna do garlic salt. Get my kit out here. I got garlic salt right here. Go heavy with the garlic salt, why not? If you like your mashed potatoes salty, which I do, especially when they're going to be leftovers someday, it's nice for them to have a little extra salt in there. And I'm going to do just a little bit of this. This is some rice milk. Just stir it up. Okay, just that. We can always add more. I like to put a rag under my pot just so that it absorbs the shock a little bit as we go and mash it up. Look at that. Yeah. Get it. Get in there. Mash that. Yeah. Nice and creamy. Creamy. So creamy. Okay. Look at that. Beautiful. Taste it. Oh, it's so good. God. So we've got our mashed potatoes. Let's see if these guys are ready to flip. Look at that. Oh my God, would you look at that? Look at that color. Oh my God. See, this is when you've really scored because it even looks like a steak. It even looks like a steak. Now I'm just gonna mash it down. Mash it down. Just get in there. Smash that puppy down. Ooh. Look at the bubbles coming out. This is all from all those fins on the underside. All those fins where the spores shoot out. This is where these little bubbles are. When I mash it, these little bubbles come out. Oh God, that's good. Just delicious. And see how they're shrinking? They're getting flatter. They're shrinking. Their diameter is shrinking. Nice. God, those are so good. Okay, we're almost home free. Let's see how the gravy is doing. Oh, the gravy is really good. Just gonna bring it to a hot boil here, and we'll be just about done. Look at what happens to all these vegetables. See how we've sort of like skeletonized all the vegetables. And all these oils. See, what we've really done is we're making tea, pretty much. We're making tea with fat. And the flour and the nutritional yeast is going to bind the fat to our vegetable tea and make this amazing thing called gravy. When you think about it, you can make gravy out of anything. Think of all the things you could put in there. One of the things that I'm going to try in the coming weeks. Oh God, so good. I'm going to start seasoning it now. I was going to say one of the things I want to do in the coming weeks is to make a ramen, and I want to start with a gravy to make ramen. Imagine, like instead of all these kind of earthy flavors, put more like seaweed flavors, like seaweed and sea vegetables, stuff like that. It'd be good, right? All right, I'm gonna hit it with a little soy sauce. Let's see what happens here. This is to give it some saltiness. It's also going to give it that umami quality. We're also getting umami from the porcini mushrooms. We're getting spicy from the peppercorns and the chile arbol. We're getting bitter from the herbs, rosemary, thyme. We're getting salty from the soy sauce and the salt, which I'm going to dump in right now. And we're getting sour from the clementine. There. A little smoked salt. Let's put in there. Let's check on these guys. God, they're just fabulous. Just fabulous. I think they're done. What do you think? Think they're about done? All right, I'm going to turn off the heat here and just let them cool down. We're just about ready with our gravy. Yeah, we got the gravy bubbling up nicely. Okay. On the umami kick, we're going to go a little darker with espresso. Can you believe it? Actual instant espresso. This is not ground coffee. This is actual espresso. Okay, instant espresso. So this is somebody made espresso and they dehydrated it into crystals. See that? Pour that in. Give it another little tap. Now look at what this does to the color. See how it darkens it a little bit? God, that's so good. Oh, God, it's so good. God, it's so good. I'm going to give it a little more espresso. I'm going to give it just a little bit of vinegar. Just a teeny bit, because it's very easy. I think it's better to pour vinegar into something just as a safety rather than pour it straight in case you accidentally get too much. Oh my God, this is just... Isn't that crazy? Just a little bit of that acid from the vinegar just brings it all together. Okay, now the highly dramatic part. We're going to strain this out. Just get my bowl here. Get my strainer. Cut the heat. And let's drop it into the bowl. Whoa! Be careful with that wind. Here, let's come this way. It's messy. It's a little messy process here. So what I like to do is take my spatula, sort of mash it through, get all the good gravy. Good gravy! Get all that good gravy right through that strainer. See the mushrooms? See what happened to the mushrooms? See how they came back to their full size? Don't you love that? All right, dump that. We'll go for round 2 here, see if we can get all the rest. See if we can get all the rest in this round. Look at that stick, that rosemary stick. Don't you love it? We got sticks and leaves and seeds and roots and fruits, everything in here. Oh, you see the wind is coming. We've called the ancestors. They've smelled our food and they're coming. Okay. All right. This is crazy good. I'm gonna grab some mashed potatoes. Put that down right there. Mashed potatoes. Put down right there. I'm gonna make a nice little crater for my gravy. See, just like that. Just a little crater for the gravy. And now I'm going to pour the gravy in the crater. Right there. How's that? No, we've got a leak in the dam. Patch it up. Oh, okay. There. Let's add a little more gravy. There. Okay, now. Look at that. Is that crazy or what? Look at that. So, we got our meat and potatoes here. And not too bad. Didn't take too long, huh? This gravy, the beautiful thing about this gravy is that it'll keep for a while. You can keep it in the fridge. You can use it on all kinds of stuff. We'll make something out of it tomorrow, actually. All right, let's taste it. First, I'm gonna dig into this mushroom. Nice bite of the mushroom. Wow, that's good. It's more fruity. I mean, you're definitely not eating a steak, but it's got the same flavor profile. The salt, the Worcestershire sauce. It's pretty delicious. It gets a little fruity from the vinegar and also from the clementine juice. Okay, now let's try this mashed potatoes and gravy. Wow, that's so good. It's a classic for a reason. It's that good. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh. Carbs and fat. Carbs and fat. Salt and fat. When people are craving meat, they're craving salt and fat. Okay? Put this gravy, and all the craving goes away. You're giving them just what they want. So cook for somebody you care about. Try to impress them, and try to impress them with this, and especially with this gravy. It won't let you down. Okay. All right, until next time.